Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Spoiler Kings. I'm Brian the Grizzly here. I'm waiting on Tank Kramer. See if Brand Man Brandon comes in. But we definitely want to come in talk to you guys about Silo season 2, episode 1. As you guys have heard, if you saw any of our episodes, we fell in love with this show very quickly. Season 1 was amazing, so I really wanted to get a chance when season 2 came out to break down each episode, kind of go through the details, pull up the actual video. We're not going to play it, but I will go through each screenshot to talk about what's actually going on. We just had a lot of fun with it. I mean, it's just so well acted, so well put together that I'm excited to kind of do a breakdown, a dive into these things. And it's just they did such a good job with even the beginning of this. So I can't wait to really talk about it. I appreciate anyone coming in to listen to it because I know this is not a show that everyone talks about. But still wanted to, kind of talk to people that love it, talked about people that read the books, Wolf, Shift, just talk about all those things and kind of break down these episodes and kind of compare them to the books and see if we can figure out where they're going to go. Are they going to go one for one off of it? They didn't do that with season 1. Let's see if it's going to be a little bit different. So that's kind of where we're going to go with this whole breakdown. Usually it'll be me and Tank. Tank is trying to put the kids together, put the kids to bed right now. So I guess we'll get started and we'll talk about what we saw from this season 2, episode 1. Here we go. All right. So it's funny. So they start off this season. We do the recap. They're going through the recap. Come in. It's real dark, and you see them doing all these things. See if I get it go. See if they'll let me play it. Everybody. Huh. Well, it won't let me do it, so we can just talk about it. First of all, this is a episode full of flashbacks. It's a whole lot of things that are going on flashback the entire time. That's basically what we got. So we got a lot more answers to what's been happening. Seeing what Juliet, how she got into mechanical, what was actually happening, why she was doing those things. I thought that was really important overall, so we understand her motivation and understand what she is right now, coming from all stuff. So it really starts off more talking about the next silo, the silo next over, and what happens to them as they figure out they've been lied to. I thought that was a very good place to start because of where we're going from there. Let's see if I can pull it up now. So we see the people around. It says, that's basically saying that the silo is going to flood in the next 15 minutes. So they're going to break out. So we know that they now know that the images are false. They're out there. They know exactly what we kind of figured out at the end of the episode of season 1, episode 10, that what they're seeing is not necessarily what's going on. So they're ready to run out there and check out what's outside. Are they seeing blue skies and or any of those things? We get around. They fighting through. They build something to get over on everybody, to get over there, and they fight their way all the way up to the top. They're opening up the hatch, and they're getting ready to go outside. And they ended with we see their flag in their hands as they're running out through the door. They run up the stairs. They're going through all those things, and you see the flag in their hand. And as we get to Juliet, now today, all she sees when she gets over the hill are dead bodies everywhere. That's nuts. I mean, that's the way they started off this damn season.
Yeah. So sorry I'm late, but Oh man, because I wanted to be here for when because the beginning of this episode was an insane way to start a season, let alone just an episode. Like it answers a bunch of questions that we had at the end of season 1.
Yep.
And then it shows us like
the
what
view of a silo from somewhere else. That's
somewhere else. Yeah. Like what happened somewhere else, and things are kind of similar enough. They have a sheriff. It looks like they have like, all that stuff, engineering and blah, blah, blah. So,
but the sheriff
like,
seems to be leading the revolt.
Yeah.
Against the people that are running the silo.
Yeah. So, but holy crap, man, like that was nuts when she walks over the hill and you just see just
bodies,
and then I was just like, wow. And then it zooms out and then you just see I'm like, oh my God. And then it's all the way down the stairwell. She couldn't even step on the stairs. Like it was just so many bodies that it was just almost unbelievable. But it was like almost everyone in that silo.
But they won't let me play the video because if I play the video, it's too much.
Yeah. Probably just skip through some scenes and stuff like that.
Won't even let me skip through the scenes. Okay. So I'll pull it down, but every time we talk about it, I'll bring it back up.
Yeah. It was
the visual of seeing all those bodies was a lot. That was a lot to see.
Yeah.
And then because me and you had questions, right? Like, were they poisoning everyone?
Mm-hmm. Like from the inside of the suit? I guess the big theory was, they that cleaning stuff before, when you're in the holding in between before you left, they hit you with that spray to decontaminate you.
Yep.
That a big theory was that was the poison that eventually killed you. Me and you thought, they pumped it into your suit,
which don't really have an answer for that because even later in the episode, she has to break the suit because it's no longer, she has no more air. So
yeah,
we get to it. But look at all these bodies.
Yeah. Oh, that was
crazy.
It was heartbreaking, man. It was legit heartbreaking that all these people had hope, to see the world, to see the truth, to see, the thing that they thought they were lied to our whole life, and
they were lied to some things, but not the whole thing. So they thought they knew what the answer. They thought that, I could go outside and everything's gonna be perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Not so much.
I couldn't even imagine, like,
her stepping over the bodies.
Mm-hmm.
Getting inside.
Also, it shows like that she's compassionate enough to understand, like, these are still human beings, the remains of human beings, that she can easily just walk and like crush bones, but she was like carefully stepping places, But
definitely shows her type of compassion for people.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What do you think when she got inside?
I wasn't sure what was going on, because I'm like, because if the suit was working, I'm still kind of confused with that, because I was trying to think, because she grabbed the water bottles to try to decontaminate herself some more, right? I got that part, but then it's like, if the inside of the silo is safe, or was she suffocating? She might have been suffocating.
She was suffocating. Right? That's why I thought that they only gave her a certain amount of air.
Yeah, or if it turned off and she's like in an airlock, like seal, basically.
So she couldn't even breathe in the oxygen. Yeah. And I think the tape that they used on her is actually good tape.
The good
kept
stuff, yeah.
all the poison out.
Yeah.
Instead of them dying from inhaling the poison, they don't have to pump poison in if outside is poisonous.
Yeah. You just let it leak in, and then it gets to you.
Yep. So within 10 seconds, they're going to start passing out.
Yeah, and that's why the dude, the mayor, Tim Robbins' character, knew, he goes, and she's only gonna make it here, because he knew it would leak in enough, and
leak in, they're gonna breathe it in, and she's gonna pass out. But she didn't do those things, and she's able to walk on. They're like, "What the hell's going on?" That's why he freaks out, runs over, for 18. But Herb getting through now. they only have so much air. You think you only got 5 minutes of air. She gets in there, so now she has to figure out a way to get out. But what about the walls saying lies and all the things, all the graffiti everywhere?
Yeah.
Understanding what they're, the stuff that they're going through. That was nuts in itself too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because now they think they were lied to, like, because right there it says lies on the screen. So I'm thinking the people in that silo thought the screen was a lie, kind of how we all thought at first too.
So, but here's the question: so, is the screen a lie, or was it not a lie, or did they only show you parts?
I think
So
they
it's
showed you the
partially a lie.
truth. I think they showed you the truth, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Hmm.
yeah, but they allowed hints of this green thing, and I wonder if they did that on purpose, because that's where I'm kind of at now. Is like they allowed some people to kind of peek, or if people started getting too close and they would start to think outside was good, they're like, all right, you get too close, we'll let you go outside and clean the camera anyway, so it's interesting because now it's like, who's lying, what's the real lie, because it's
Exactly.
so many layers to it,
Because the question is, what's the real lie? Is it just
Mm-hmm.
the fact that they're telling them they don't know what's going on, and they eliminate all the evidence of what actually happened in the past, or is the lie like, it's just us, we're the only silo there, and you have no idea that there's 10,000 silos right next to each other for all the entire human race, but you keeping them separate so they don't know about it. So it's not a lie; it's actually just only give you a small glimpse of what's actually the big story.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Mm-hmm.
That was interesting. And then, as you said, we had to see her break out of her suit.
Yeah.
Somehow she grabs a crowbar and she gets out of it, which was great. And then we get the start of the show.
Yeah.
You see the silo, how it changed it. And I still think it's really interesting because the silo looks to me like a DNA strand. So it also kind of represents like the human race overall. So all human races are in this silo that's like this is who they are now. They no longer remember any of this past that we now know about. This is it. This is who we are.
Yeah.
In this silo.
Yeah. Yeah. I get that kind of vibes too, and then it's also like how like you have different systems in your body. That's how kind of the silos working too, like, you have your heart with the generator, you have, your stomach, the food, the farms and stuff like that. You have
the brain.
Yeah. So yeah, you have these different parts of the silo that would compare to like a human body. And then this whole thing is like a double helix kind of looking, thing. Yeah. Yeah.
All right. So she gets in, she started walking around, she sees, how similar it really is, but she sees all the drawings on the wall. It looks like almost like hieroglyphics, but it kind of explains a lot of the little things. Walking around, she knows that there's this hole here. And before we get there, I guess she has a flashback. For being alone, she causes her to have a flashback to when she was little. So what do you think that how did that kind of work out? Or did you get any more new information from this?
I don't know if it was new information rather than seeing her like her point of view of stuff, or not point of view, but like how she handles things, I think is a better way to do it. Like to see how she handles things and deals with obstacles, and in a sense, because there's we'll get into that later, but seeing like she's very strong minded, strong willed, and being in here by herself, I thought was really interesting, because up to this point she thinks, she's alone and she has to figure things out. So it's like, it's like, and she's a it kind of reminded me of the Iron Man 2, no 3, where like he starts freaking out and the little kid's like, oh, you make things, go make something, and it's kind of like what I got from her. She's like, hey, this is what I do. I fix problems, I fix issues, and yeah, she made a bridge. So yeah, she's But the flash, I think all the flashbacks were just more of her showing of who she is, rather than like any kind of like it didn't really for me build the world. It just built this character, like why she is the way she is.
I feel like it was, like I said, the last time you've been in this situation when you felt totally alone. Before the friendship she had with Walker and Shirley, she had to learn how to survive in this atmosphere that she has no idea what's going on. She has no idea how to deal with this stuff. So that's why she's in this place where what do I do now? And the last time she felt that was when she was first introduced to engineering. And I think that they're showing how she goes through, she has to learn use her patience, her integrity, her perseverance overall to get through the situation, her problem solving skills to get through the situation. And then it reflects exactly to where she is now, and how, okay, now I have to use my ingenuity, my problem solving skills, my patience to get through what I'm doing now. And look at that as a small problem instead of this big, huge thing. I'm alone.
Yeah.
But as I said, this first flashback is really just about Walker and Shirley and her as a little girl, and finding her way throughout everything. And as it goes from there, it always flashes back to what she's doing now.
Yeah, it kind of links it together, with where she was at mentally, kind of thing.
So I think that was the biggest thing, working hard, learning how to work hard, coming to a place where you no longer know, you feel comfortable, and how do you deal with it? She's always, she's more alone than she's ever been, but she's been in that situation before. So I think that's what it shows a lot. I think, but it was really weird because like Rebecca, really did a great job of almost like Matt Damon almost. Like when you're
like
alone,
like the Martian kind of thing.
The Martian, being alone. There's not a lot of words going on, but just you're seeing her actions and dealing with, once again, problem solving, compartmentalizing what's going on in front of you. And saying, okay, I'm just going to deal with this. Her expressions, her actual working through the problem was huge. It's almost like we're using her past as a case study to see what she's doing now. And that's just kind of how I felt it worked out.
Yeah, because like I could be wrong. I don't think Rebecca Ferguson says a word
in any of
in this entire episode.
Yeah,
in this entire episode, she didn't say a word. She makes noises and grunts and breathes heavy and stuff like that, but I don't think she said anything. Right?
No, the entire time it's all about desperate gasping and doing work and figuring out what she's doing, but who's she going to talk to? So what's the point of talking?
Yeah. And then all the dialogue are from memories that are relating to what she's dealing with, in the current time. So
got Nikisha in the building. Said, good evening, everybody. I enjoyed the show, even though it was slow. I can't wait to see what's happening in Silo 18 with Walker. And then she says, what the F with the rope was cut. I think you can see when she goes back to the rope and she looks at it, it was definitely cut with a knife. So that's the biggest point of suspense in the present time with her. Am I truly alone?
Yeah. I think that was her first kind of like, and I think otherwise she would have gave up on getting across the bridge. You know what I mean? Because if it was like, it just like it slipped or it broke or something like that, but since it looked like it was cut, I think she's like, okay, I got to go to wherever this sound is, because it's the only sound in this entire place. So it kind of like helped drive her because she's a person who asks questions and wants them answered. So. Yeah. But it was I would say it was a little slow in the middle, but the beginning was amazing and the end was a great suspenseful ending. But it was a little slow. I didn't hate it, but it was, it was a lot of character building.
Yeah, exactly. It was a way to really start the season off. But as I said, the new Silo, her dealing with all these new things. It was different. And I thought it was really interesting that all we got are the flashback episodes, and we didn't revisit the other side, the original Silo.
Yeah, we haven't even got to that yet.
Yeah. So we never saw that. But you now understand Juliet and Walker a lot more, right? You understand their relationship a lot more. Why she sees her the way she sees her. You know? And then really, you know, Shirley and Juliet weren't going to be friends, but Shirley's dad said, hey, no, look, she's trying to apologize to you. And I thought that was really important too.
Yeah.
But and then seeing Juliet work at putting things together, at, you know, being the best at what she was doing. No matter what, she's only a little girl, but she's trying to be the best. She's trying to fit in. She's trying to work on things, put things together, and she learns quickly. I thought that was really, really cool because once again, it represented the flash between the two. You know, so overall, I mean, the episode was fun. So
yeah, I was interested for sure.
So when she finally fixed that toy, I just thought they kind of showed her willingness or your need to really meet to mesh with someone else, to really have someone else to talk to, and then every time I felt like she did that, it was a reflection on that she has no one here. But then something happens. Like I already need someone here, and then something happens, and then okay, the rope's cut, or this thing is moved, or you hear sounds. You know, and I thought that was really well done by the writer of this episode.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, even with her fixing it, it was almost like because they're like, why bother fixing it? Or you don't know how to fix it. You know, they told her stuff like that. You know, and she comes back and she goes, "Oh, here, I fixed it." So it was almost like her way to connect is to like prove to people she can do the stuff that they think they can't. You know, like almost like she has to prove her value to them. You know, kind of.
But that's what they said. This is engineering. You better show you're valuable or get out.
Yeah,
that's just it.
Yeah.
And Keisha says, I do wish they had released 2 or 3 episodes at once like they did last year. I think this would have been a perfect episode to do that because there's not a lot of dialogue. There's not a lot of world building. I mean, we're seeing the world stretch out, but it's nothing going on between characters. You didn't really add any new characters except for the ones that are dead. Understanding who they are and what that they're dead and how toxic it is to be outside.
Yeah, because if the next episode deals with only what's going on in the first silo, then it would make sense that the first 2 would get, because then you would have her in the new silo and simultaneously what's happening in the other silo. You know, so it's like episode 1 and 2 are both happening at the same time. That's what I would assume that they're gonna do. You know, but I wish they would have done 2 episodes too.
Well, I thought that the most important thing I saw with any of these flashbacks was that Shirley now talks about she's the one that showed Juliet that other place that's down below, right?
Yeah.
So when Juliet says there's a door down there to her, now Shirley might remember that and start searching for the door.
Yeah.
Which is in my mind, should be a connection between the two, correct? I mean, and maybe that opens up your world a little bit more. So
yeah,
but I agree. I would love to have this too. If we had 2 or 3 episodes right now, 1, 2, and 3 released at the same time, I think that would be even better.
Yeah, I mean, 3 depends on how episode 2 ends. Because the way episode 1 ended, they should have done another episode for sure. You know, I should have done another episode for sure. So, yeah.
Figuring out, okay, I can use these big metal things to get there. That was key. It was very dark. You know, that's why
it was really dark.
And I think it was meant to be that way, to show how alone she really was.
I get that, but also it's hard to watch as a viewer because I'm trying to like move to get the glare in the right spot, and I get what they were doing, like you said, with that, but when it's physically hard to watch because I just can't see, then
it's harder
like,
to enjoy.
You know, turn up that brightness just a tad bit, you know.
Exactly. So at least I know what's going on, because there was times where I'm like, what the hell's happening?
Yeah, I started watching it on my phone and I had the brightness all the way up, and I still
Mm.
couldn't watch it. And I wound up logging in and watching it on my computer, and it was still kind of hard, even on my computer. So
Like even like right now, I want to show you guys certain scenes, but without playing, you really can't tell what
but
the scene is going on. You
yeah,
really can't see. It was very hard, very difficult, to really watch. Um, and I understand. So the silo itself is a character, right? The darkness itself is a character. It's meant to make you feel alone. It's meant to make you feel the
like the death,
despair.
you know, yeah, the
Being
death of it
surrounded
all.
by it. Exactly. And then you feel all that.
Yeah.
But I think they did a little bit too much because I would enjoy to actually see what's going on. If we had the same thing, but we actually could watch what's happening because the generator is working on a backup generator
Mhm.
and you can see a little bit better, I think that would be more enjoyable.
Yeah. But like also everything being dark, that when she finds the light, it was very like in your face
Blinding
kind of
almost.
thing,
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know about blinding, but it's like it over every time like she looked at the across the bridge, it was like the main focus. It was just like whether it be off centered or centered, it was just like boom, that's the first thing you saw. And it was just, and it kind of like made you like, what's in there? Got to go in there, So it kind of put you in that mindset too. But yeah, but they could have just a little bit,
Just a little bit so we know what's
just a
going
little
on.
bit of brightness.
Just give me a little bit. That's all I'm asking for. Not
Yeah.
everything, but yeah.
Oh,
But then after we see the whole rope being cut, you start seeing young Juliet. She's going and she's visiting the where Shirley took her, and you see all the hieroglyphics, you see all the writings and all this stuff,
writing,
and they tried to
drawings.
explain that stuff, right? And I thought that was interesting too, because I think it's going to mirror exactly what we saw, what she's about to go through right now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, her almost falling into the. We're thinking about her falling into the water and not knowing how to swim. How the heck did she get out of that?
I mean, just get lucky, I guess, because that's all she just kept kicking and flailing until she kind of was able to grab onto something. Because I'm like, of course she wouldn't know how to swim. Why would anybody in the silo know how to swim? They don't have water like that.
And she was already afraid of water, right?
Yeah.
So, and we kind of already discussed that in season 1 that she doesn't like the darkness of water and understand knowing what's going on underneath.
Mm-hmm.
And though George kind of said you don't have to worry about that. I always wish she would have kind of went a little bit lower to see how deep that water, if the deep water was as deep as you think it is,
Mm-hmm.
or is it more shallow that you could have stood up in?
Yeah. Because I'm thinking that's where the door is at.
I think it's exactly where it is. Yeah.
Yeah. You just open up that door, that water just goes in, and boom. Yeah.
So, as I said, it was real dark trying to figure out. But since Juliet figured out a way to get to the other side, pushing that big scaffold over, using the oil things containers,
Yeah, the oil
pushing
drums.
them over,
Yeah.
falling right over, and she's able to walk through. And then she gets to the other side, and she's walking around, gets to that door, and I thought that was just a crazy moment.
She opens the door because there's writing on there, and I didn't get a chance to. Yeah, it should be coming up. Also, is this the same door that that Tim Robbins character opened up
In the side? It's not the same one, but it's similar to the one you had.
The same style and stuff like that, right? Because it makes me wonder, is this what that one person who knows the truth goes in?
So that was just the people all around with the hands up, doing all that.
Yeah. Bernard. Yeah. So here, yeah. Missed it.
Can't see it again.
Yeah, it said something about survivors. I saw the word survivors.
Oh yeah, you can't see that. Yeah. Let's see if I can figure it out. Last time.
Says any survivors, please help us.
Any survivors, please help us. I guess that.
Huh.
I think that's what it says.
Okay.
But they got out one somehow.
Did it, because I was like, there's a access, a dial pad that still has power.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I'm like,
well, you hear the music, so you know they have to have power somewhere. Somewhere they're getting power from it.
Yeah, same with the light, with the fan. I mean, the fan was going off, so it was like, so there's,
and maybe there's only power on that side. Those are the people that actually controlled the silo. That's the same thing that was going on in their silo. You know, when she went to that room and you went to the janitor's closet.
The janitor's closet, yeah.
But that always has power because that's where they're controlling everybody from.
Yeah.
Yeah, Anzo in the building. What's up, homies?
What's up, Anzo?
I was on with him last night.
Yeah, I was in chat. I was watching with the fight.
Nikisha says, I'm definitely going to rewatch and pay attention to all the background stuff. Looks like a lot of subtle clues. I think it's giving us clues for the entire rest of the season.
Yeah.
They're literally, trying to piecemeal, and we're going to realize how important this was. But that's why I think another reason why it was so dark. They want you to be able to, you have to pause it and really check this out to figure out what's going on.
Yeah, they're not making it easy.
Yeah, they're not just trying to make it too easy for all of us.
Yeah.
So after that, she said, "You do it again, I'm going to kill you."
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And that's, I mean, it's a good ending of the episode. I do wish we had a second episode of what's happening in the other silo, because then you kind of get everything that's going on rather than just her,
because if the next episode is only about what's going on in the other silo and we don't see Juliet as much, kind of throws a monkey wrench in this whole thing that what you're doing. Like we forget, and it becomes too slow of a slow burn. But if you put a play in both together, like it's one episode that's just a long one, it helps out a lot.
Yeah. Because then what I mean, then it's going to seem like, oh, you're going to bounce back and forth, and like the season's only going to feel like a half of a season because you're telling two stories
at the same time until they reach this point where they mesh again, right?
Yeah.
But you don't want to do that at the beginning.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think that Nikisha's right. They should have dropped at least two of them together so we could see what's happening, what she's going on, and what's happening in the other silo, and we could have saw both perspectives and then know where they are, where we're going from here.
Yeah.
Are we facing revolution in the other silo? Does she need to get back to the other silo to stop them from opening the door and killing everyone?
Like, whoa, stop, don't do it. Yeah.
Is it possible that's going on? Is it possible that Russell has a key to the other silo? Is it possible that happens and he can help her get there? I mean, what did it do? This episode really just asked a whole lot of questions and didn't give us many answers. So
it answered a few that we had from season 1, mostly about what goes on outside and stuff like that. But and now we know the truth of the camera. What the camera actually sees and whatnot. But I feel like it started giving us more questions.
What's going to happen going forward,
which is
good. Handle the rest of the comments real quick.
Yeah. Get to it. Keisha said, really enjoyed Silo first season. Happy to support. Yep. That I think his eye color being different, a result of toxic air or chemicals when they opened the door in the rebellion.
That makes sense. And was he the little boy? Was he the boy that they told to go back to engineering while we opened the door?
The son? Yeah. I have to rewatch that. That's interesting.
That's what I thought. I immediately thought that's the son. He's the only one to survive because they pushed him back. They told him not to come out till we come get you, and that's why he lived.
I can see that. I'm gonna clip that. Keisha is right. It's one of my favorite sentences.
But I think you convinced me. I agree. There should have been 2 or 3 episodes that would have really whetted your appetite for what's going on.
Yeah, because that would be my only issue. Like if episode 2 ends in a way where I don't feel I'm not going to be not satisfied, but more like really eager, for more. like if they only do, like you said, if they only do the other silo and we really don't get anything from Juliet, I would feel a little upset too. Same way I didn't like this week. We didn't get anything from the other silo, so it's like, hey, there's a whole other group of people that we didn't even talk about. Like, you should have gave us two episodes. Because I'm really curious of what's going on over there. How are they handling it? Because they all started losing their mind when she didn't clean the camera. So her boss, the head of engineer, like, is he gonna feel guilty? Or maybe now he's like, oh, what did I do? I pushed her, and what happens when you push smart people to the edge is they're gonna figure ways to get out. And because he's the one that turned her in.
So
at the end of season 1,
if they follow exactly what happened. Well, so this was introduced differently from the book. Okay, so that's why I do want to make sure everyone knows. So the show is not going word for word from the book. They really didn't talk about decontamination, the stuff that was actually going on, why she was doing what she was doing through the whole ordeal. The guy, he's introduced differently, so I remember that's the thing. And there's nothing that really set up shift the beginning of the book shift. It really isn't. So I think that it's totally different than from the book overall. But the things that we talked about, we want to know what's going on in the other silo. Is this a peek? What's the point of this? The writers giving us this a peek into what could happen in her silo right now, because they saw her walk over the hill, that everyone else is thinking they're lying to us. We're about to start a rebellion. We're about to we're gonna do the same thing. And how long is it before she figures that out? How long before Juliet says, "Oh my God, I set them up to die, and I don't want this scene to happen to all my friends." Which is another reason why they had the flashbacks, so you understand their connection. Much they are family, and then she actually has her father as family, but everyone's willing to fight for her because they see what they think they saw. So this next episode, a lot of stuff going on.
Even going back to the end of last season is with Sims. What I mean? Like, where he told Juliet's dad, he goes, "Oh, no one person is above the silo." When he had asked her, he goes, "Would you trade in? Would you save your kid, from being hunted?" And he's like, "Oh, no one's above the silo." And then you cut to his story of like, he's gonna do whatever the hell he needs to do to save his kid, because that's what a parent's gonna do.
Exactly.
But now, because at the end, when Bernard's like, she knows, and Sims turns around, she goes, he knows what, and Bernard's already down the hall sprinting. So I'm sure Sims is gonna start asking questions now. Because like, he had somebody important to look out for. His wife and his child.
And that's why Bernard was concerned having Sims be his number two, his shadow, because he has a connection to the silo that Bernard does not.
You're kind of attached to this lie, whatever lie it is that they're all being told. Where Bernard knows, I think he knows the truth, or at least he knows more truth than everyone else.
I think Bernard has access to all the stuff in the past, all the things that are being hidden, all the relics. Bernard has access to all that stuff, so he does know exactly what's going on.
I wouldn't be surprised though, even if he's not the high, and like if there's other people above him, or
like, do they communicate to each other? Do all silos communicate?
All silos. That's interesting.
So we can understand what's going on. And how many silos are left? How many people? How many places had generator problems that didn't have a Juliet to fix it, to shut it down, to be able to fix it? Keisha says, "Is this the time you guys are going to talk about silo every week?" Yes. We will be talking about it every week during this time, breaking these things down. Hopefully, there'll be a lot more scenes to actually see. It's just harder to see right now. It's just very difficult to see. But overall, it's going to be the same thing, same time, and we're just continue to go through each little thing that happens and talk about what we could see going forward. With that being said, what do you think you're going to see next episode?
I think we're gonna see the first silo, Juliet's silo. And I think Bernard is gonna try to damage control a lot of stuff. But I think people saw too many glimpses. When they shut down the generator and they all saw the glimpse of the fake green scene. Now people thinking that might be real. I think Sims is going to start to question a little bit more. He's like, "What are you hiding from me?" I think a lot of people are going to start asking questions. Even Billings. I think Billings is
Billings is there.
He's got a lot of questions. Now after seeing the book, so I think a lot of people know stuff, and it's going to be hard to put that back in the bottle. And I think Bernard is going to have a hard time doing that. And I think next episode is going to be him trying to fix things, but too many people saw too much, and it might be the start of another revolution. That's what I'm thinking.
That's a very good point, and I think that all that's going to be true, and it's going to be the race against time. Everything you said, along with the race of time with Solo and Juliet trying to figure out a way to get in touch with the other silos, so she can tell them, "Hey, it's not me, it's not free. The air is not good. It's actually toxic, like they're saying. Do not open the door." Yeah. So she's trying to figure out a way, and she's going to eventually remember there's a door underneath. Let's go find the door. And she's going to ask Solo for help.
Yeah. Wait, Solo or
Solo? So that's the Russell, the guy we call Russell.
Oh, Solo. Russell. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
I
haven't read any of the books and stuff like that. So I don't know
that from the book. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't read any of the books.
See, I'm hoping Lucas is still alive. He was so sweet. I hate Bernard punishing him when he was barely did anything. Yeah, he basically just told him, "Hey, you started a lot of this problem. You're supposed to be under me, and now I want to punish you."
Yeah. Well, I think Lucas, obviously, getting threatened, but I think he's starting to see something as well.
Well, he saw the stars. He understood those. He didn't know they're stars, but he knew the sun twinkling.
Yeah, like he knows. Like he's figuring out things. He's figuring out, they're on a rotation. Because he's like, oh, it's like they're going in a circle. Why is that? So he's starting to figure things out just from the camera, a camera that's looking at one spot. So, but the problem is, like, then you get somebody like Bernard that's like, help me, or I'll torture you and punish you. So, yeah, but I think Lucas is going to start to play a bigger role into understanding things of the world. Like he might be not the guy who's like, oh, it figures it all out, but I think he's going to be like a key person in like, oh, wait, I've seen that before. I've seen this before. Like, because of his observations. So I think he's going to be good, but I think he's going to go through some shit first.
I think he's going to be in jail, and the only person who can touch him in jail is Sims and Billings.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that Lucas is going to get through to one of them. It could be Billings, it could be Sims. And whoever the one he's talking to is going to switch sides 100%.
Yeah. Do you see Sims switching sides?
I think Sims will be the one switching sides eventually.
I think that, Billings is already there.
He's already there. And I think that Dr. Knowles, whatever, her father, is going to, after not seeing your daughter for that long and then seeing her walk out, he's going to be exciting a lot of people. The fact that you can't be that close to reach her and see what happens, and not just.
But also, his wife was so close to a lot of answers, with the microscopes and stuff that the silo wanted to keep hidden, So, and plus all the stuff he does, all this the shady shit with not pulling out the birth control, So like, he's a guy that sees a lot of things that are all kind of starting to come together, and obviously he's a doctor, so he's not dumb, and I think he does care about people,
But he's always felt like he couldn't do anything or someone would get hurt.
Yeah.
My only real question I really don't know is if Shirley and Knox are going to end up fighting. Because of not what Knox did. Yeah, because of what he did. And he is going to want to keep people in the silo, and Shirley's going to like be trying to beat him up.
Yeah.
Fight
Which
for
would
her
be crazy
friend.
because Shirley's the one where well, no, not Shirley. Who's the Walker?
Walker.
Walker's the one. That's what I was thinking. Like Walker like left her room. So which is a whole thing of like, her silo was her room, like she couldn't get out of it. So she finally got out of it. Juliet got out of the silo. Like there's very a lot of parallels and stuff like that. So
I just the
it's
fact that we saw so much young Shirley means that Shirley's going to be more important going forward.
she's gonna be big. Knox, I can see that. I can also see Knox feeling guilty, and then seeing her walk over the hill, and it's like, oh, did I just question one of the smartest people I've ever met with Juliet? You know what I mean? And maybe he like goes back and he's like becomes like a diehard, supporter of Juliet. But I think that they're obviously gonna have like some kind of big fight, and I can see him going either way though. But surely, she obviously cares for.
She's gonna be on the front lines.
Like a family. Yeah,
she's gonna be on the front lines.
Yeah, for sure.
Keisha says, "Do y'all think that they're in Georgia? I do, and that George was named after the statue, the state of suddenly preserved that past. That's why he named himself Georgia."
I can see that. I can see the city in the background being Atlanta. I heard a lot of people saying that.
It looked like Atlanta, the skyline.
Yeah, the skyline, right? And also Atlanta being the home of the CDC.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's not the first time something bad happened and it started in Atlanta. Walking Dead, I believe, is the same thing.
Exactly. It goes off Walking Dead. Exactly.
Yeah. So like, hey, let's put all this like really bad shit together in one spot and not hope nothing bad happens. So I do think it is Georgia. Yeah, I think especially with the catalog, it makes sense. Makes sense.
And then that's the one
George, though, I like close.
That.
The George, I like that because even if it's not Georgia, just a book alone, Yeah.
He says, "I'm excited to see how things play out for Billings too. I don't trust his wife. I think his wife is going to set him up.
Ooh.
I think his wife is going to set him up 100%. I think that she's going to be the one that sets him up.
Yeah.
He's going to be talking about all these things. He's going to share the page with her, and she's going to turn him in.
Yeah.
And with the answer of, can't put anything in front of the silo.
Well, I think it'd be more, you can't put anything in front of our kid. Because everything she's always about, the kid. Don't do this. Be home for the kid. Don't do this. Blah blah. It's everything that she puts ahead of the kid. So if him talking crazy like this, she might be like, "Hey, this is not cool for our kid to see, and you need to get out now." Yeah.
Yeah, but when you tell someone that he has a relic, you're really literally trying to get him, force him outside.
Yeah.
That's death. And we just saw the doctor not do that to his wife, right? And being accused and how he felt. But if she does exactly the opposite of Dr. Nichols, we tell what type of person that she is.
Mm-hmm.
I think he says, yes, that wife is shady as fuck.
Yeah.
She really was.
Yeah. I think she wants to live the simple kind of life, which is not a bad thing, but also I think if you marry somebody who is somebody like Billings, where since he was a child, he was very like strong, and
but very straightforward, very much on the rules.
But also like his entire life he broke the rule of having the syndrome and not telling anybody. It was like, so he knew the rules,
walking
but also
contradiction.
Yeah, his entire life he was breaking a rule. His entire life, so yeah. So but Billings is gonna be interesting for sure.
He says that the aging technology is so good. Walker looks good.
That was interesting.
Yeah, she definitely does.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if that was like a de-aging thing or if it was like a younger actress or something like that. But she sounded too much of the same. Still had too many features. So yeah.
All right, I got one last question before we get out here. What do you think Judge Meadows is going to stand going forward in this whole thing? Because it seemed like she was working for Sims / working for Bernard. Is she the one that's going to really get the revolution started, or
I can
even
see
the
it.
death of her.
Ooh, she kind of becomes like a martyr.
Mm-hmm. She
Like she
tells them
starts
everyone
to think, yeah,
starts to say something, and they kill her off, and then next year,
mhm,
and that starts the whole revolution.
yeah, yeah. I can see that. I can see that. But yeah, she's gonna be a key player in the revolution for sure. You know,
Mm-hmm.
on starting the revolution. You know, because like you said, like she didn't look safe. When she was there next to Sims. So
She's like,
yeah.
I can't do anything about it.
hmm And her being sick at home was definitely like, a good sign of her fear as well. Was she told to stay home? Like, hey, how about you don't come into the office today? Like, got you.
Or did they give
So
her something to make her sick?
yeah, yeah. So or she just straight up fearful. She goes, I don't want to deal with that today. Hopefully it blows over. Because then if I'm not around that situation, you can't blame me for it. That type of
Exactly.
thing.
I wasn't here.
So yeah,
Give me my bacon. That's all I want. Give me my
yeah,
bacon. Bacon and eggs.
yeah. But
I
yeah,
mean, I'm excited about all this stuff. I mean, I think
oh, yeah.
I'm glad that we are getting episodic, this type of thing flow. But I would like to see prior to. But is that just be me being selfish? It could be. I want to know what everyone else thinks. Is just them being selfish too? Because you want more,
Mm-hmm.
and I feel the same way about From. Every episode, I want more. But is it because I want more? Or is it because I want a full episode? Because if you don't tell me the full story, it could become a problem.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, From I know it's coming to the end of the season. This is the first episode, so I get like you're obviously not going to tell us everything in the first episode, but you know, I still wanted more. Yeah, I get what you're saying. I wanted more. Just because I enjoy the show so much. Like give me more. I want it. So
So
yeah.
it was very interesting in the flashback of the other silo that the rebellion was basically a class away. One side had guns, and the other one was homemade weapons.
Yeah.
They had guns, and they're shooting, and they just overwhelmed them.
Yeah.
And that reminded me of Snowpiercer again. You know, once again, these are apocalyptic, type of things. When you're talking about the end of the world, talking about how do you fight through? So, yeah, a class war, or exactly what she's saying. It's seen, and you can see it. But the lower class has numbers, and the numbers eventually overwhelm you.
Yeah.
And that's when you realize, when the lower class realize that you have all the power. That's when revolutions happen.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Even in the beginning, when he the sheriff from the other silo is like after the fight, he was looking in the mirror, cleaning up, and he's like, why didn't he open the door? Who was he talking about? Was he talking about Russell, or what was he talking about?
Whoever was that, the other door.
Yeah, the other door.
Yeah, I think that they didn't get through why. He was wondering what was going on, how, and why did that they just let them go? Why did they seal themselves off?
Yeah,
and let all the rest of them die? He didn't know. He didn't know. He know they're going to die, because he's like, why did they seal themselves off? What did they know that we don't?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So
that's huge. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's why, like, definitely, like Nikisha said, like, watch. I gotta watch this one again, because there's a lot of hints around everywhere, and I feel like the beginning scene with the other rebellion in the other silo, I think that's gonna have a lot of hints in it. A lot of hints in it. So yeah, I'm super excited about this season. Like this is a great show,
and I can't wait to see what I'm saying. The character Solo is going to be very big, and he and Juliet are going to mean everything in this season. Mean it all. And they cannot affect the other silo. So what can they do? How do they stop it? How do they talk to them? That's going to be the huge thing. I don't know if it's going to take 2, 4, or the whole season episodes to get answer that question. But that's the number one question for me. How do we stop them from ending up like the other silo?
Yeah. How many episodes are we in? 10 episodes, right?
I think 10.
Yeah, will contain 10 episodes, all the way through January 17th. Yeah.
See, I bet they got email behind that door. They probably talk to everybody. They got email, but it's AOL. So yeah, every time it goes,
Oh, I have this one. Oh, I don't know. Hold on, my bad.
Yeah. So no, that's gonna be awesome. I wonder they get behind the door if Solo does open the door, how does that work for Juliet? Does he say, "Hey, you're here now. We're going to work together," or does he say, "You got to go. I'm glad you made it here this far. I'm gonna stay behind this door. You can stay behind there. I have all the cameras. I have all the power of the silo. Everything in me is on a separate separate wiring. Are there more people that are there? Which I kind of know the answer, but are there more people that are there or not? And what do they do next? So, I mean, those are all questions I can't wait to see the next episode next Friday. These episodes are dropping Friday. We go from Friday to Saturday. We'll break them down. If you guys got any questions, we'll continue to answer them. I cannot wait to see it on Friday.
Yeah. That's definitely, and I'm glad I can watch it as soon as I wake up.
Exactly,
because I'm like, maybe it's out, and then as soon as I got to work, I searched it and it was already out. So I'm like, yes.
I'm gonna leave you guys with this last comment from Lakeisha because I think this is really funny. You might want to repopulate the silo. You never know. Let's go.
That might be the only reason he opens the door.
She said, "Show a little shoulder." He be like, "Oh, really?" Oh.
You hear the door creak open.
But if you guys are watching this later, jump in the comments. Tell us what you think. Tell us where you think this episode 1 meant. Where do you think it's going to go in these following episodes? Where do you think how Solo's going to be important in the entire storyline? How is the other silo going to be affected? Are we going to be able to save them before they open the doors? Let us know. I want to hear all the theories. I want to know where we think we're going to go. So talk to us, like and subscribe, and come see us next week because me and Tank will be doing this every week at the same time. So, Lakeisha, thank you for being here. Anzo, thank you for checking in on us. And guys, thank you if you're watching this later.
Yeah.
So, yeah. You got anything else?
Anybody watching live, go over to Bigger Fort Entertainment. Brian's going to be over there. They're going to be talking. I believe it's the penultimate episode
of From. Yes. Revelations Part 1, guys. Revelations Part 1.
Yeah.
It's important.
So if you're sticking around, if you're live, stick around. I have the automatic redirect to that. It should be starting somewhat soon, but it'll send you right there so you can hit, get notified when they go live and stuff like that. So yeah, definitely go check out Bigger Fort Entertainment with Brian, and you usually have a bunch of other guys on there talking about From. So yeah.
Sounds good, guys. Let's go watch the watch party, and we'll see you soon.
Cool. Later.
Thanks, guys.
This program was made possible by viewers like you. Thank you.